now. Hello, everybody. Oh, God. This started bad. Holy shit. I just took a sip of an energy drink. This is what happened. I'm joined with my friend, the Stupendous Wave.
Hello, everyone.
My name's Anthony, by the way. Anthony Alicio for the Googles.
You shouldn't say your last name.
Why not?
Here. Because it's not safe, dog.
Dude, it's fucking fine. I'm a drummer that plays all around the goddamn planet, bro. Like, people have seen me and they've heard my last name. It's all
What's
good.
the biggest show you've ever played, okay? You're not that big.
Okay. Am I that big? No. It's probably the last show I played was the biggest.
How many people?
A little over 1,000.
That's pretty good, actually.
It is pretty good.
You know, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was cool.
I'm sorry.
I've only played sold-out shows. I have also played shows with about 5 in attendance.
No, you have not.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah. Not like the big shows, but, you know.
It's a big show.
Back in the day.
Back
in the day, you know, just kind of like playing your local bar gigs and stuff. Every now and then you get one where just fucking nobody shows up.
That sounds so sad.
Yeah, it is. But
it's like from like the movies, you know, where it's like that band goes like all out on the stage.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it cuts to the crowd and there's no one there. My cat wants to eat my chow mein.
You should let her. I mean, it would be funny. By the way, guys, we're expecting a pizza to be delivered soon. We're celebrating tonight. Absolutely nothing, but we just were like, yeah, let's get some pizza, drink some energy drinks. It's like 11:30 p.m. right now. You know, it's kind of spontaneous.
Uh-huh.
But, you know, that's what we do. Oh, shit. I didn't research any shoes for the shoe segment yet. Fuck. Oh, no.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really do like a week-to-week thing, really. I mean, it would be awesome if you could do like a week-to-week thing, but it's more like if you find one, you recommend it.
Yeah. All right. That makes sense. But anyway, we got some stories.
Yeah.
We
but real quick on the topic of shoes.
Yeah.
Any shoes you're looking at right now? Anything you like?
I fucked up my pair of Yeezys today.
Oh, yeah, when we were chopping wood.
Yeah.
Real quick about my thing. So the pair of Off-Whites that I mentioned, the seller that I purchased them from has yet to ship them. I'm not panicking yet, but they have no feedback. This was like their only item that they've ever listed.
Yeah.
They have not deleted the account, but eBay gets you money back. Mm-hmm. So if I don't get it, and I do cancel the order, I will be asking for my money back. Yeah. And then I'll bid on another pair of Off-Whites, or I'll just purchase them. There was another pair of Off-Whites that were one for $500.
Yeah.
And another item for $400. So if you're looking for like those really expensive shoes, the smart route is legitimately to bid on them.
Yeah. That's probably what happened, or that's probably why the guy hasn't shipped them yet. He might just be like, I'm not fucking selling those things for that low.
Yeah.
Like, it's not impossible because he's like, that guy's getting fucked out of like, what, $600?
$600 at minimum. You know what? That's kind of what I would do. I would take the hit to eBay. Like, is it a shitty thing to do? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I won those shoes. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like, I get it. Like, $300 for Off-Whites, no. Like, I would take the hit on eBay.
Yeah. I imagine, like, you know what,
It's still shitty, though.
do you know what people do when they bring cars to auctions?
What do they do?
When they don't sell very well?
What do they do?
They bid on their own car. They put the highest bid. That way they don't fucking give away their car for a low price. You know what I mean?
That's messed up.
Yeah.
Is that illegal?
No, it's not illegal. Because it's like, you just basically at that point you pay whatever the fee is. Because when you bring a car to an auction, there's like a 5% thing. Like the auction takes like 5% of whatever you sell it for. And that's how the auction makes money.
Uh-huh.
So like, if say you were bringing a old sports car, like, you know, 1965 Mustang, something like that, and you want it to sell for 55 grand, that's like what you're hoping. And like the highest bid you find is like 11 grand. You just go in, bid 20 grand or whatever, bid just the next highest bid. And then you just pay the 5%. You obviously wouldn't want to bid too much because then you have to pay a higher percentage.
Yeah.
But
it sucks. I really I hope they send me my shoe. Yeah. I really do. So I'm gonna give it.
They do. It's only been a couple days.
I'm gonna give it. It's been like a week.
Yeah, but imagine if you had to ship a pair of shoes out to somebody. I bet you'd be real lazy with it.
I don't even want to talk about me and shipping things, okay? I know I'm bad at it, all right? That's why, like, whenever someone wins a giveaway for me, people think that I have these, like, gauntlets and lightsabers laying around.
Yeah, in your
But
house.
what I do is I have, like, little investment. Like, I put money aside specifically for the giveaway. So it's like for this Infinity Gauntlet giveaway, I'm on my 5th gauntlet. So I've invested, like, $5,000 into these gauntlets. But it's like I have an account with the money in it for the gauntlet.
Oh, yeah?
But I don't buy the gauntlet and ship it. What I do is I'll purchase one of the gauntlets online from like someone that's selling it, Hot Toys directly, or if I can find it for cheaper, another website, and then I have the gauntlet shipped directly to the person that owns it.
Yeah.
And I just pay for it, if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. Those things are pretty cool. You ever see, like, those saber forged lightsabers?
Yeah, where you can like customize them.
Yeah. The ones that are like, not just like a replica from a movie, but like a fucking $1,000 custom lightsaber.
It's always been my dream to like reach out to, like, be reached out to by a company like that.
It's like a sponsor.
Yeah, but I have been reached out to by like lightsaber companies before, and I think they would absolutely just kill on the YouTube channel, the Star Wars YouTube channel. I think they really would.
Yeah.
The problem is they have just offered me the worst deals ever.
Yeah.
Like for a sponsorship, and I want to rant about this for a second.
All right, go for
I'm
it.
not going to give names or anything of various sponsors. I'm just going to like...
Audible. I'm just kidding.
I've
I don't know any
I've
of
never
it.
had an Audible sponsor before, although that would be awesome.
Squarespace.
Never had Squarespace either. But
G Fuel. I'm just naming
that would
it.
be so cool.
Yeah, would be
anyway,
cool, man.
I was reached out to by...
Loot Crate.
I have had a Loot Crate sponsorship
Oh, really?
before. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, one several months back, but
Cool.
I did. But what was I saying? Sponsorships, and then the lightsaber company. A lightsaber company did reach out to me, and they said we will build you a lightsaber that you want in exchange for the sponsorship. Now, like, I get it. That's cool.
Yeah.
But like, I don't really want like my own lightsaber in exchange for a sponsorship. 2, the lightsaber is not worth the amount of a sponsorship. Like, just let's set up something.
Yeah.
Send me a saber so I can see it and see for myself if it's quality, and then give me the money that the sponsorship is worth if you want to do this.
I know.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, I have had awful details like that. The worst one I've ever gotten is a guy said that he would give me a discount on a lightsaber if like I did a sponsorship for him. There are people that will legitimately reach out to you and they have no idea how a sponsorship works. The way it works, and for you little YouTubers out there or smaller YouTubers that are coming up, really, really listen to this. You should be getting, I believe the dollar amount is you should be getting $50 for every, like, I think it's like 1,000 views.
Yeah.
So let's see this. So if your YouTube channel is getting 10,000 views,
Do it with it's $5,000, idiot.
is it?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Wait.
50 times 1,000 times 10. It would be 50
so
times
it would
10.
be 500. Wait.
$500.
Okay.
Yeah, idiot.
Fuck you.
Yeah,
That's
idiot.
the first time I
No,
have ever done math
and I'm
wrong.
reveling in it, okay? Fuck you! I finally won. Anyway, sorry guys. You should charge $50 per every 1,000 views, because think about it like this. If you put up like an advertisement, 1,000 people looking at the advertisement directly marketed to them for a certain amount of time, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
People on YouTube and advertisers will be like, oh, like, it's only got this many views, but 1,000 people is 1,000 people, and it's being directly marketed to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you need to charge $50 for every 1,000 views that your video is getting. So if you have a video that on average you think is going to get 10,000 views, you think it's like safely worth that, then you need to charge $500 for that.
Yeah.
My videos get way more than that, and like let's look at my Star Wars channel. So 21,000, 45, 40, 53, 65, 42, 40, 45, 45, 57, 60, 65. One of these got 230. Mm-hmm. So I should be charging realistically $1,200 to like $3,000.
Yeah.
Do you know how hard it is to get $1,000 out of these companies?
I'm sure it's almost
ridiculous.
Impossible. Don't they all offer mostly like 600, like amounts like that? They're like, oh, we'll give you like 600.
The starting is like 800.
Yeah.
And I have done sponsorships for way less money than I'm worth before.
Yeah.
And then I come in and I do all the like work.
Mm-hmm.
And can you pause the podcast for 1 sec?
Yeah, why? What's up?
I'm getting a call. Sorry.
Okay. Oh, wait, we're good. We're good. All right, we're back. We got pizza.
Yep.
Yeah. So we are going to do a bonus pizza review.
Inspired by our favorite YouTube channel, One Bite.
We got a pepperoni, which we're already fucking up because it's not the gold medal slice. Cheese is gold medal slice.
Cheese.
Pepperoni, we're fucked up.
We got pepperoni, extra cheese, Papa John's, One Bite. Yeah. Everybody knows the rules. Do we go at the same time?
Would be fucking disappointed.
Did we go at the same time?
Doesn't matter. You just go.
Rating 1 through 10.
Yeah,
okay,
1 through
ready.
10.
One bite.
Oh yeah.
I like it.
It's pretty.
I like it. It's doughy. Mm-hmm.
That's what they used to call me in high school.
Not gay shoe boy.
I was just gonna make a really bad joke.
Oh, I like this a lot, actually.
Yeah?
I like it. I like the.
Is this your first time ever eating Papa John's?
It's one of them, yeah, for sure. I've always had like Pizza Hut be my go-to.
Yeah.
Pretty good pizza.
My goal is to eat 4 slices by the end of the podcast.
I'm gonna give this a 6.9.
Sex. That's what I was gonna give it, just to make that joke. But no, I can't.
No, but that's actually a real score too. Like I feel that that's accurate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know what to give it, man. I'm gonna go maybe. Gonna do a 6.2.
I see where you're coming from.
And it's not because I don't like it. 6.2 is a pretty alright score. Mm-hmm. You know, I just can't give it a 6.9. Not that there's a rule that says we can't do the same score. I'm just not doing that. I'm an innovator, not an imitator.
I'm grabbing another piece.
That being said, we just
we just stole an entire
YouTube channel's content. You got to watch his last one. Mm-hmm. He has Little John on there, but Little John doesn't show up for like the first 3 minutes, and it's like he was already like almost an hour late. And El Presidente, which is the guy who runs the channel's nickname, is so fucking mad, and he is just cursing Little John out, and he bans all rappers from the fucking show. He's like, never again.
Because Soulja Boy didn't show up last
time. Boy didn't show up, so he was like, first that fucking guy, what was his name, Soulja Boy? And now Little John? There's like, no more fucking rappers. Fuck Little John. He just goes on this rant, he keeps saying fuck Little John, and then he shows up. And then he's just like, I'm gonna be honest, man. I was like dragging you all across Atlanta just now. Like I was cursing you out. Are you gonna watch this later? Because like I'm really fucking mean to you in it. And then like he immediately likes Little John. He's like, all right, I'm lifting the ban on the rappers. It's fucking hilarious. If you guys haven't watched that YouTube channel, you gotta go check it out. It's called One Bite. It's great. It's just a guy reviews pizza like 5 days a week. It's been doing it for like 3 years. It's the greatest YouTube channel besides the Stupendous Wave and the Marvelous Wave.
Oh!
And Super Jeff's World.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I was talking about like sponsorships. I thought you like shushed me.
No, I forgot we were talking about that after we paused it.
Yeah. Well, I was talking about sponsorships. You should charge $50 for every 1,000 views you get. Because $50 for 1,000 views, that's not that much. That's not that much, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
$50, 1,000 views. It's really
a lot of people.
It's not that bad. Yeah, 50.
Are you faking those, by the way?
No. It's the energy drinks and the pizza, man. They just come together.
This is really great content right here.
I'm sorry.
I'm sure so many people are just thrilled to hear us smacking our lips and burping into the microphones. Well,
it's an experimental podcast.
yeah, no, I like it. I think it's casual, man. It's like you're eating with your buddies, you know, having a good time, partying, almost midnight, eating pizza.
Yep. Midnight in 6 minutes.
Drinking caffeine.
So much caffeine. That's what got the burps going. And I'm drinking it out of a solo cup.
Yeah.
I'm straight savage.
Hashtag Han Solo, am I right?
It goes down super... He died. It goes down super easy in the solo cups. Pardon me.
You're a fucking animal.
I just spilled a little bit. Anyway, what was I saying? $50 for every 1,000 views. So if you have a YouTube channel that gets 20,000 views, charge $1,000. And sponsorship people, if there's a YouTube channel that gets 20,000 views, you're making more money than that. You're making your money back most of the time if they have a loyal fan base. Obviously, the sponsorships want to get as low of a price as possible, right? Like, that's their goal.
Yeah, that's anybody's goal.
Yep.
That's how you run a business.
But I had another sponsorship just he just tried to pick out a pizza in the box and just completely dropped it flat on its face.
They don't need to know that.
Anyway, I had a recent sponsorship that was for the Christmas period, but I missed it because we weren't able to get it approved enough. So most of the time in sponsorships, there's a middleman that reaches out to the YouTuber on behalf of a company. So it's really hard sometimes because it's like you have to send it to this middleman who will then send it to another company. Do you know what I'm saying? A lot of times you don't work directly with the company.
Yeah.
There's someone that will connect you.
Yeah. The company's busy making whatever they make. They need somebody to distribute their advertising.
Exactly. And that person, I think, in a lot of cases, they will tell a company that a YouTuber is charging a certain amount, and then they're going to pocket the rest. That's what I would guess.
Yeah.
However, I'm not sure, which is why they want to get it super, super low. But it's really frustrating sometimes when, for example, I asked if there were any amendments to one of the sponsorships that I had because the Christmas period had passed. And they said, no, read the script. And so I read this event that was going on within the script. And I sent it in, and they said that they liked the sponsorship, and then that they wanted to see the video that it would be attached to, because sometimes I film them separately.
Yeah.
So I send it in. A week later, I get this huge email that says, this thing is no longer going on. You need to show more footage of the actual game and blah, blah, blah. But the main part is you read a script that was outdated and all this stuff. But my issue is the company had already told me that that was approved. And even before because they give you a rough draft of a script and then I take it and I rewrite it. And they had approved that. But even before that, I had asked them specifically if there were any amendments that they wanted or changes that they wanted because of the time.
Yeah.
And they said, no, you're perfect. Read the script. And now 2 weeks later, they're emailing me again saying you have to rewrite it. And this is out of date. And we need this to be recorded at this section and this to be recorded at this section. They're really, really, really micromanaging, which is just not cool. Especially after I finished it up, edited it up, recorded all the gameplay, and a lot of times they will only allot Sponsorships also do another tricky thing where they give you all the things that they want in the video sponsorship, but they say it only has to be 45 seconds. It's damn near impossible to fit all that information in 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Which is a trick on their behalf. But they're also like coming to me and saying like, oh, you need to make this longer and this longer, like parts of it. But it's like the original thing is only for 45 seconds and I already gave you one that's a minute and a half. Like chill. So there's a lot of frustrating things that happen. With that also said, I've had a few really easy ones that I've done that have been majorly successful, but in the past, I've also had issues with being paid by these companies. And I know you've experienced this firsthand. It was literally months after I would receive after the integration was completed that I would receive the full payment.
Yeah.
They would send me like little increments. And it's like, what the hell are you doing? Do you know what I'm saying? Do you remember how freaking frustrating that was?
I think it's a lot to do with just like, I don't think people have any sort of respect for content creators on YouTube.
Not at all.
Because it's just like, oh, well, that's just a guy making videos or whatever. But they don't look at it as, or maybe they do look at it as like almost like a television program where there's this built-in audience and you're promoting your fucking product just like a trailer in a movie theater or a commercial on TV. But they think that because YouTube is so like creator independent where it's not big companies, it's just individual people directly communicating with their audience, that they can take advantage of that and say, okay, well, you know, what are they going to do? Come at me with their giant, you know, movie studio legal team or anything? They just like go, all right, well, we'll give them what we're going to give them, and
when we give it to them.
Yeah. And
here's the thing,
they
though.
Don't think about it like that.
Yeah, which is wrong. And I would even say that as a YouTuber, you potentially have more effect on what your audience buys.
Yeah.
Because when you like, it's you directly advertising to them. It would be like a TV show with like a character that you really like pausing the whole TV show to advertise something directly to you. But like a reality show, because a lot of times YouTubers are like real people, and that's what their YouTube channel is based around.
Yeah.
Like the Stupendous Wave is a Star Wars historian, but the Stupendous Wave is not an identity that I've created. It's me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not some fake guy. It's not an act.
Yeah.
Same with like the Marvelous Wave. It's all information, and I'm not playing a role. I'm just trying to share my information and create it in bite-sized segments. But it's like they view me as like a person, which I am, which there's that separation in TV.
Yeah.
So I would think, I don't have exact numbers, but I would think that YouTubers, for the products that they directly promote, probably end up selling more percentage-wise than like a TV show.
I could give you a little bit of a fun fact with that. PewDiePie, which, by the way, if you're not subscribed to PewDiePie, go do that because we need to help him so T-Series doesn't win.
Yep.
He's sponsored by G Fuel, and he had a 30% off promo code for G Fuel, and so many people used that code that G Fuel had to lower it to 10% because they weren't making money.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Good for him.
PewDiePie literally got so many people to buy that fucking drink, they had to lower the discount.
That's phenomenal.
Now, that being said, that's an extreme fucking, like, case. PewDiePie has 83 million subscribers.
Right.
He could get a lot of people to get something.
Right.
But that shows, though, like, people will actually go out and buy it. You know?
And there is very little respect for content creators. We can talk about this a lot in the real world even.
Yeah.
It's a lot with like older people. I had an older gentleman tell me that I had something that was not necessary and therefore it held less value than an occupation that was a necessity. So let's say a garbage man. Like this gentleman would consider a garbage man that profession to be a necessity.
Yeah.
But because my YouTube channel is not a necessity, therefore in his mind it is less valuable. So you run into stuff like that. And I mean, like,
That's just the wrong way to look at it.
yeah.
Things aren't done out of necessity anymore. We live in a society where we have access to everything we want anytime we want it, and we could be frivolous with that in a way that isn't cynical, in a way that's just, fun. And part of the human experience is enjoying yourself. So you could choose to have a job that isn't a fucking brain surgeon and talk about Star Wars if you could make it work. and like the fact that people are going to look down on it is unfortunate, but it's just a fact of life. There's always going to be somebody that has a problem with anything you do. But I mean, like, I once heard that today, in like the era we live, 2019, we have such amazing technology and access to anything we want that we could even develop without humans. We have robots that could produce everything in the world for us, that we shouldn't even necessarily have everybody working all the time, like regular jobs. Like, if we wanted to, if we decided to devote the brain power to it, we could find a way to make it where most people don't have to work and like just kind of have whatever you want. Not that that's something that we would ever attempt or that some people would like, but it is something that like technically we could achieve it. But,
that's interesting. How would you feel about that? Personally, like, I love to work and I love personal achievement. I thrive off of it. It's like my favorite thing to do. I love waking up in the morning and thinking of video topics. And I don't always like the business end of YouTube channels, but some of the happiest moments in my whole life has been successes that I've achieved on YouTube.
Yeah.
So
I think it would be interesting because I'm not saying that. Oh my God, stop licking that fucking cat.
My fat cat is just like,
Licking
she loves
fucking
every
garlic
type of
sauce.
food, and I love her.
If we lived in a world where you didn't have to work, you didn't have to do anything to provide for yourself because everything was provided for you, like the baseline necessities. And there's like people that think that that's very doable today. It's just, in the world we live in, there are just ideas that people don't like to change. For example, like plumbing. Like, the way you flush your toilet is the way that people have done it for the past 300 years. Nobody wants to come up with a new idea because we're lazy. But
there are actually people that do that. Like, if you look, like, welfare people really do sit on their couches and waste away if they don't need
I know. I know what you're saying, but like...
but that breeds, like, idle hands are the devil's plaything. So it's like, if you have less people employed, I would also guarantee you that crime would go up.
Yeah, but what you're talking about, I think, is the fringe of ultra laziness. You know what I mean? I'm talking about, like, if you were just a regular person, I think it would be weird. I'm not saying that this should even ever happen, by the way. I'm not like
I don't think it should.
A proponent of this idea. But it would be interesting to see, like, what people were motivated to do what. Because think about, like, how many people there are that are kind of just stuck at their job that, don't have... a whole lot of time, or maybe like that job kind of like sucks the passion out of them a little bit. Like the things that they would do if all of their necessities were kind of taken care of, just like the baseline necessities. Maybe there would be some interesting things to come out of that from people. But one, this will never happen. And two, it would probably go more in the negative route than it would a positive way.
Let me ask you though, what would you do if money was not a question?
I would just do the things I liked. I would work hard on what makes me happy. There's a thing that you have to ask yourself at a certain point, generally like post high school, where it's, what do you want to do with your life? And this is going to sound cheesy, but you have to ask yourself that question in two ways. What do you want to do with your life, and what would you do in your life if money was no object? And generally the way you should look at it is the answer that you give yourself with what if money was no object is something that you should strive towards. Like, because ultimately you're only going to go through your life once. I tried to say that without using YOLO. But you should do the thing that makes you happy, and you should absolutely master it. And if you master it, you could get somebody to pay you for it.
I could tell you what I would do.
Yeah,
and I've thought about this before. I would host like entire like
learn how to talk, idiot.
classes based around the Star Wars mythos.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely would. Like
yeah,
in
like
person
Star Wars
classes.
101 at a university.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really fucking funny.
That's what I would want to do. I would want to get up in front of a group of people. Oh my gosh. I am just on fire.
You got this.
Fire.
You got
I would get up in front of a group of people and I'd just talk about Star Wars for like an hour and a half. And I'd try to get them engaged and I'd be like, what about this theory? But if that is this, then it also must mean this.
Yeah.
That's what I think I would really enjoy.
That's kind of what you do now, though. I mean, it's a different format. Obviously, you're not talking to people directly. But I mean, hell, maybe one day you could get a YouTube Red series and do shit like that.
That would be really cool.
Honestly, I could see that being a thing.
Really?
Call it like fucking Star Wars School.
Yeah.
Have a fucking partnership with Disney.
Here's the thing, though. Like, I would want like an in-person dialogue with them.
Yeah. You know what? I bet that would actually be entertaining. If you had like, who says that everything that's a Disney Star Wars show has to be fucking Star Wars canon content, like a fucking animated series, when they could put out some sort of live action, like, you know, dialogue based seminar thing where it's like a classroom and you're the teacher and then there's students and it's just like debates, and make that a series. It doesn't even have to be on TV.
I really enjoy that.
I think that would be cool. Like, that's something that I think I would watch. And I'm not even that big of a Star Wars fan. I don't hate Star Wars. I obviously have seen all the movies. I'm the best friend of the Stupendous Wave. I've heard a few Star Wars theories. But like that would be interesting. Somebody called Disney.
That's my dream.
Call George.
Is to be like a Star Wars teacher in person and have dialogues with other mega fans.
Yeah.
And I think it would be interesting. I really do.
That doesn't even have to be something that you need a partnership with Disney itself to do. You ever see you know who Dan Harmon is? Dan Harmon is the co-creator of Rick and Morty. He also created the TV show Community.
Okay.
And he does a podcast. But what he does, it's called Harmontown. What he's done, I don't think he does it all the time, but I think he might actually do it all the time. It's a live podcast, and he like rents out places, and he will do it in front of a few hundred people, maybe like 200-300 people, and you know it's kind of like an engaging kind of thing, and they go to the audience for questions all the time and stuff. But it's a completely private thing. You know, he just finds the venue and then does the show there. And it works out pretty well. So I don't think it would actually even need to be something where you would have to get some sort of actual like consent from Disney. I mean, if you don't need to do that with, you know, the YouTube channel, why would you need to do it for a live event?
Yeah.
You could do whatever you want.
I think that would be really cool, though.
Yeah.
Have it be like
I think that would be
advertised
doable.
as like a Star Wars school.
I absolutely think you could achieve that, like, in your real life, and it doesn't have to be like if money and time were no object. I think you could do it.
I would also want to get to a point, though, where it was huge monetarily.
Yeah, I could see that.
Where it's like people would pay, like if you have a room of 200 people, like have them pay $10 a ticket to be engaged.
Cover charge.
Yeah. What is 10 times 200?
2,000.
$2,000.
Add a zero.
So
See, this is what normally happens when we do math. I do it really quick, and he always fucks it up. So I can't believe that I was the one that fucked it up earlier today.
So, like, making $2,000 a night,
Yeah.
just talking about Star Wars, that would be really cool.
Yeah. And who knows how many seats you could fill.
We have a local, like, nerd restaurant, which, like, is okay.
Oh, yeah.
But I could imagine doing something there.
Yeah.
Just like...
It's like a fucking trivia.
But, like,
night.
when I first moved here, like, I didn't have any friends besides you and your brother. And it was just, like, I desperately wanted to get out of the house and do things.
Yeah.
And, like, meet people. Now I know too many people. But then, it's like... But then I just wanted to get out of the house and, like, go meet people. And I was like, oh, I'll go to a place where people are interested in the same things that I am. And I went there, and it was awful. It was just like everybody there was so antisocial, like legitimately.
Yeah.
It was a strange experience.
Yeah.
Man.
And that place is weird, too, because it's like they're...
We don't want to mention the name of it. Just know it's a local place.
Yeah. There's like the way this place works is it's this ultra fucking nerdy. Oh fuck! It's an ultra nerdy restaurant where it's like everything on the menu there is a pun. It's also a bar, so it's like you could go to this place and order blue milk. It's a fucking drink, or like
An alcoholic drink?
yeah, and but the thing is, because of that, the menu is also kind of hard to understand because you're just like, what the fuck is a fucking Tyrian fucking fritter? It's like what the fuck is that?
A Tyrian fritter.
And so they have that whole aspect of the restaurant, but then also it's a 2-story place. And the bottom floor, there's tons of board games. They have a giant wall of board games, and it's like each one is $1, and you basically rent it for $1. And then you could play downstairs, and then on the upstairs level, there's a whole video game room, and it's like Xboxes, PS4s, like Nintendo Switch, all that stuff. They have like everything, and a bunch of people could go there. So if you go there and you walk up both floors, you'll experience 2 different kinds of nerds.
Really?
In the same place. It's weird.
I've only ever been there once.
Yeah, I feel like the bottom floor places, or the bottom floor is like the more social nerds, believe it or not. And then it's like you go upstairs.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone's just so enthralled in their video game.
Yeah, because it's like the video game is obviously like you can only have so many people playing. I've been there maybe like 4 times. You go down to the floor where everybody's playing like board games. There are tables with 10 people and they're all playing board games. They seem like they're having fun. And then you go upstairs and everybody's just like quiet and sweaty and like gross and they haven't showered in a while. Not that if you're a gamer that's what you are. You make your own destiny, you know? I'm not telling you how to bathe. Just like, you know, everything in moderation, guys. That's the key. You drink too much, just tone it back. But you don't have to stop. Just be not an alcoholic, but an alcohol consumer. If you do heroin,
Stop. You take things too far.
It's like the Eric Andre show where they address the audience. They're like, children, if you ever find cocaine in your parents' house, just do as much as you can. It cannot hurt you.
But I just remember being here and just realizing that I didn't know anybody, and I thought I was going to be among like people where I could potentially, I don't know, make a friend outside of you and your brother.
Yeah.
And it just like was the worst. It just like blew up right in front of me, you know?
Yeah. But hey, look at you now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a lot of friends.
Yeah, absolutely now. I found a place where it's easy to make friends that I genuinely enjoy. Mm-hmm. And because of that, I have a huge social circle. And I'm very lucky, very blessed.
Do you remember the feeling of when you realized that you started making friends? And it was like, oh, wow, like I'm like making a lot of friends in a way where it's like you're not in high school. Because I remember like... I always had a lot of friends in high school, and then once I kind of got out of high school, you kind of forget about them. You don't talk to them anymore, and then you have to go out into the real world and make your connections that way. And it takes a little bit of time, I think, if you go that route. But I remember there was like a moment, it was probably around when I was like 20 or 21, where I realized like I got a lot of fucking friends, and it's like all friends that like you just naturally.
When did this happen?
Like I said, around like 2021, because it was I had started around that time like playing with a lot of bands and stuff, and just slowly like introducing new friends to my circles and all that stuff. And there was a point where I was just like, wow, you know, like I'm getting multiple texts a day from different people, and like people are asking me to go hang out and stuff. And there was a moment where it was like there would be multiple people asking me to hang out at the same day, and I'd have to like pick somebody to hang out with and be like, oh, like, sorry, I got plans with this. And then I was like, oh, wow, like, this is cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Mainly my big thing is when I started playing basketball. Mm-hmm. That's really when I noticed my friend circle started to get really big, and like, because I'm not bad at it. So it's like then you get to play with more people, and it really opened it up. And like there's something about playing on a team with people, working towards like a singular goal that's really awesome.
Yeah, I think there's something in like human nature that when you have just one common interest, you could be friends with anybody.
Yeah.
I remember there was one time I went to a concert. I went to see 21 Pilots back in like 2013. And this was back before they were like really big. They were playing at House of Blues. And there was maybe like 1,000 people that went to the show. And I went by myself, and I normally never go to concerts by myself, but that one I went by myself. And I remember when I got there, like I instantly made friends with this group of like maybe 10 people. And I thought it was the coolest thing because I think all 10 of us were kind of in that same position. We all just kind of went by ourselves and found each other. And all we had was one common interest. It was we all just came to see this band. I wasn't even like the biggest fan. I only knew like a few of their songs. Mm-hmm. But it was so cool because we all had like a great night and we stuck together for the whole show and talked the entire time. And like we all kind of parted ways. Like I remember we like all got like our social medias and stuff. But that was a fun night where I realized like just the smallest thing could make anybody just become friends instantly.
Right.
Then it's when you get to know them where it gets fucked up. You know?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I've had a few experiences with people that are just like, they never get out of that rut of like not having friends.
Yeah.
And it's just like they literally sit in their homes all day long. Mm-hmm. And when they're out in public and they're finally meeting people again, it's like they're different. They're like almost like a little bit broken, and it's kind of sad, you know?
Yeah, well, being social is the reason why it's called social skills. It takes practice. You're not going to be great at it if you don't do it very often. So just like anything, if you want to get good at it, you got to kind of put yourself out there and make friends and stuff, hang out. And eventually...
That's the most terrifying thing in the world.
Yeah, it is. It's really scary if you're not used to it. I remember, like, when I first started hanging out and going to bars, I was, like, fucking confused. And most of the time I was going just, like, for, like, gigs and stuff. But, like, there have been... I remember I used to go to clubs a lot. And it was just, like, fucking weird for me. I was like, I don't know what to do here. Like, you know... how do you talk to people? How do you have a good time? But eventually you get used to it. You're kind of like anxiety fades away and you just start acting like yourself. And it's just something that takes practice, just like anything, you know?
Right. I remember like the first few dances that I went to. Mm-hmm. I mean, like,
I'm still not used to that.
Really?
Yeah, fuck that shit.
Why?
That's awkward for me.
I'm really good at it.
Yeah, you're good. You're good at being there. I'm good at being there in the way that, like, I'm not afraid to look like an idiot. Like, because I'm going to just throw some crazy dance move. But, like, the whole atmosphere of it is pretty awkward to me. It's because I never went to dances back in, like, high school or anything. To go to them when you're 24 feels fucking weird.
I remember. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
I remember going to one where you trying to play footsies with me, dog?
Fuck you.
I remember.
You fucking blessed.
I remember. I remember going to a dance, and at this point, I had broken up with my long-term girlfriend, who I'm now back with. Anyway, but at the time, I was signal.
You were signal, bro?
At the time,
like
I
what
was
kind?
signal.
Like a traffic light?
I was
you
the
fucking
big
moron.
one. I was like a traffic light signal, one of those big ones. I was green. Yeah. Anyway, but I was just out there and just dancing with so many girls. It was awesome. But those dances... It's weird. There's like a spell on them.
Yeah, they are.
No,
weird.
Like legitimately, there's a spell. Mm-hmm. You either go to those things and you leave on cloud 9.
Yeah.
You leave feeling amazing, or you leave feeling like shit. I promise you, every single person that I've gone to there, one or the other.
Yeah.
Every single time. It's weird. I'm sure that it makes sense. It's obviously like a huge social step.
Yeah.
For everybody, and it's like. Everyone's there trying to pretend like that they're super cool, but we all know why we're there. They're there to meet girls, and the girls are there to meet guys.
Yeah.
You don't go to those things to have fun. Do you know what I'm saying?
There are a few people that go to those things, though, because they think they're, like, amazing dancers. And to be fair, some of them are.
Yeah.
That's always annoying, too. And I know exactly what you're saying, because I don't know if I've been to 2 or 3 of them, but I remember the first one I went to, I left on cloud 9, and the second one I went to, I did not leave on cloud 9.
Yeah.
It was just like, I don't know. They're stressful, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's like you just think too hard.
Yeah.
But
like going like with someone, with a girl, like that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Like,
well, at the same time though, if you're going with like somebody, it's kind of defeating the purpose of going. At least
not
that's
really.
Not,
like
that's
for
not
me, you
does.
weren't at the last one, but like I was just chilling with like a bunch of our friends.
Yeah, I would have gone to the last one, but you had to,
Give you bronchitis.
give me bronchitis.
It was really fun. You know what was great?
What?
Watching Darren. Because
yeah?
Darren was just like, everyone was trying to get him to ask girls to dance.
Shout out to the Marvelous Wave editor, by the way.
Yeah, thanks, Darren. But
Killer
it's like,
editor.
Darren doesn't need help getting a girl to dance with him. He just doesn't want to dance with any of these girls.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it really was. Everyone was looking around like Darren was like some type of coward. No,
Yeah.
that's not what was happening.
It's just not him.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like asking a fucking fish to fly. It's like he fucking swims. He doesn't fly.
Yeah, exactly. And it was awesome, too,
Yeah.
because we shot some hoops while we were there, too. Because there's a
Well, yeah,
basketball hoop
what else are
playing.
you going to do?
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm not there to, like, ask girls out. Or
Yeah.
I was just there to dance a little bit and hang out with my friends. My girlfriend's a dancer, though, and she's a really good dancer, so
Yeah.
sometimes I try to do those things to, like, support her, even though I hate dancing. I hate it.
Yeah. It's funny when you see the people that love it, though. It's funny when you're with somebody that you don't really know could dance, and then all of a sudden they fucking break dance.
Like Alex?
Yeah. I remember Alex fucking just started breakdancing. He was on the floor doing spins and shit. He almost did the thing where he spun on his head. And by almost, I mean, I don't think he actually did. But like he was, that's what he was doing, though. He was like all those moves. And I'm just looking at him. I'm like, where the fuck did you come from? I thought I knew you, man. And now you're doing this shit?
I just do weightlifting, like, things there.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how to dance.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean, like,
You know
I'll
what
do,
we
like,
should
a
do?
lap pull-down thing.
next dance
I'm not
there
taking
is-
a dance lesson.
The next dance there is we should bring some fucking logs and chop some wood. You know what I mean?
Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. What else? is
So
there?
Anthony chopped. Was this their first time chopping
I've never
wood?
chopped wood before.
Yeah.
Never done it before.
I could tell. You
Asshole.
improved.
Piece of shit.
You improved the.
Fuck you. Okay, continue.
You improved a great deal as it went on.
Yeah, well, thank you.
But I just remember, like, watching you for, like, the first swing. It was just like a priceless thing.
You know, I was just thinking to myself
it's
about
it's
when
something
we were.
you get better at.
I remember when we first started, and you were just complimenting me on how good I looked. You were like, Anthony, you're looking swole. Your muscles are really showing. Like, I can't believe I haven't noticed this before. This is like great. And I'm just like, oh, buddy, thank you so much. I've been working hard. I'm so grateful that you've noticed and you're so kind. And now you're just like, yeah, you fucking sucked at that. Like, you chop wood like shit, you fucking loser.
Did you chop wood well?
No. You know, it was fun, though. And it fucking hurts. It's a good workout.
Did it hoit?
We're doing it again tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
It's super fun. And earlier tonight, we actually went to the wood burning thing. It was just like a little test one. There's going to be a bigger one in like 2 weeks or something like that.
Or like a fire pit.
And I told a funny joke when I got to the fire pit. I was like, I spend all this time chopping this wood, and you guys are just going to fucking burn it? It was fun.
But it's fun, too. And we
Yeah.
won't be supervised tomorrow either.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so one of us is getting hurt.
Yeah, it's me, I know. If either of us are getting hurt during an activity, it's fucking me. I don't need to ask that question. I know the answer. There were so many times today I thought I was going to cut my leg off.
Really?
Yeah, because I was really concerned about, like, when you swing the axe at the piece of wood, not swing through and, like, accidentally hit yourself in the leg.
Yeah, you swing down,
You swing
not
to the
through.
ground, not, like... It just made me nervous. And I always have this thing where I tell people, it's like, if I'm going to get hurt, I hope to God it's my left leg. It's my least important appendage, because on drums, it does basically nothing for you other than keep your hi-hat closed or open, depending on what you want it to do. But as long as I got the right hand, the left hand, and the right foot, I'm making beats. It's working. So if I'm going to hit myself in the leg with an axe, it's got to be my left leg.
Yeah.
So if you're going to hurt me tomorrow, what I'm saying is aim for the left. If you hit me in the right leg,
I've
you're
chopped
going to
wood.
ruin some of my shots.
I've chopped wood a lot, and I've never gotten hurt. The worst thing
Yeah.
that's happened is, like, a piece of wood has flown back at me and, like, hit me in the head.
Yeah.
But that's it.
There's
It'll be
a...
fun.
You ever watch videos online of people, like, forging knives and axes or anything like that?
Not for a while, but I have before, but
Yeah.
not, like, gone down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. The rabbit hole is a fun place, man. I love going down the rabbit hole, and it's like you start at kittens and then you end at, like, fucking top 10, best videos of ghosts caught on tape. And you're just like, how the fuck did I get here?
Also, happy February, my guy.
Oh, is it February?
It's
Whoa!
February for 30 minutes.
Dude, we're fucking time traveling through this podcast. It was January, now it's February. What's in February? Is this Black History Month?
Sure.
Yeah, I think February. Yeah, because it's the shortest month, and everybody.
Oh,
complains
Black
about
Panther
that.
is going to be in a lot of AMC theaters for free.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, like giving away free fucking movies. I'm down for that. I don't have to feel bad about torrenting.
Also on Netflix.
Oh yeah, it is on Netflix.
So why?
Yeah, but that's not free. That's like an $8.
Yeah, I know, but like, why am I going to go there? You know.
I don't know, the camaraderie of the audience. You know, it's a very celebrated movie.
Yeah, it really is.
It's interesting. I wish it was a little bit better. It's a good movie. I don't want to sound like I'm shitting on them.
We got some pretty good movies this month coming out.
Yeah, what's coming out?
The Lego Movie 2.
I'm excited for that. I really like the first one.
Yeah,
I have not
same.
seen any other Lego movie, though. I haven't seen the Batman movie or the Ninjago movie, whatever it is. I haven't seen anything.
How to Train Your Dragon.
Yep. Hopefully that's good.
You have The Prodigy, which is going to be a horror movie. And nothing else that looks good.
Yep.
What is The Man Who Killed Hitler and then
Oh,
Bigfoot?
dude. The Man Who Killed Hitler and then the Bigfoot?
Yeah.
So basically, there's Sam Neill. You know Sam Neill?
Yeah.
He's the man who killed Hitler in World War II in this movie. And then they find Bigfoot, and somebody's like, hey, you killed Hitler, but now we got a bigger monster for you to hunt down, or something like that. And they like basically commission him to go kill Bigfoot. It's kind of like a John Wick, but only it's Hitler and Bigfoot.
Is it a comedy?
No, it's totally serious. I heard about that movie like a year ago, and they just put out a trailer for it like maybe 2-3 weeks ago. And I remember seeing that trailer drop and going like, fuck yes. Like, the movie's going to be a giant piece of shit, but it's going to be a funny piece of shit.
I can't. I'm going to watch the trailer right after this.
Yeah. It looks stupid, but the kind of stupid that might be enjoyable.
Right.
I mean, just the title alone deserves an Oscar. It's going to be pretty interesting. Did you see about the Invisible Man movie?
Is it still happening?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
The news with the Invisible Man movie is that it's going to be made by Blumhouse, and it's actually going to be a horror movie as opposed to a big Universal action blockbuster.
Is Johnny Depp still going to be in it?
I believe so, yeah. But it's cool. I've
a horror movie.
Yeah, because that's what these characters are supposed to be.
Oh yeah! Oh my gosh! Wow.
Isn't that funny?
So far.
It's like I remember for years, like, I think once Dracula Untold came out, I remember ranting to my brother. I was like, I don't know why they keep taking horror movies and turning them into action movies. Like, it's fucking vampires, not the Avengers. Why do they keep doing that? And they made the same mistake with the fucking Frankenstein movie with Professor X. What's his name? The fucking glass guy.
James McAvoy?
James McAvoy. I spaced on his name. Great actor.
The Beast?
The Beast.
He doesn't think he can beat the Beast, does he?
Beast, all that. But Glass is great, by the way. We haven't talked about Glass. Well, let's finish this conference. Point is, they're actually making this Invisible Man movie a horror movie. So hopefully that does something better for the franchise. Because, like, I'd prefer for these movies to be good. I'd like all movies to be good. And every single, like, Universal monster movie, whether it's Frankenstein or The Mummy or a Dracula movie, they're all fucking terrible. So, like, let's get some good ones.
Let's talk about some horror movies this year. You know?
We always do. That's fine, though.
Really?
Yeah, we always talk about horror movies. But we do got shit
horror
to talk
movies
about.
is one of my passions, though.
I love horror
That
movies.
is my second favorite type of movie to watch
We're
in
getting
a movie theater.
the sequel to It this year,
Yeah,
right?
I have it all pulled up.
All right, tell me what you got.
My second favorite type of film to watch in the movie theater.
Other than a
Other than
Star
a Marvel
Wars or a
movie.
Marvel. What about Star Wars?
Star Wars 2. Solo was sad because it was empty.
Yeah,
The Last
I had
Jedi
that
was
same
sad
experience.
because half the theater clapped and half was completely silent.
I
kid you not.
I don't think anybody in my theater clapped. I saw Solo a week after it came out or 2 weeks after it came out. There was like 3 people in the theater, and I was one of them.
I'm never going to experience anything like the Force Awakens movie theater again because everyone went crazy at the end of it.
Yeah.
Everyone was so happy.
There was a great video that came out when it happened. You ever see the video of the guy who's like taking the picture of the screen when it says Star Wars, and the guy screams, "Turn your flash off, you fucking moron!" and then like the Star Wars logo comes up, and then it's like instantly everybody's just cheering. That was an experience. That's something that will never, in Star Wars, happen again, probably.
Yep. But I love watching Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Even like the smaller ones, like Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
That's a fun theater experience.
I was excited.
But watching horror movies is different. It's like different than watching a normal movie in the theater.
You have a completely different audience.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's a completely different experience.
It's really, really, really
and if the
fun.
movie is absolute dog shit, you can find a way to enjoy it if you're with the right people.
Like The Nun
Yeah.
was just crap.
Or Insidious.
Insidious, the last cursed key.
That last Insidious movie was so fucking bad, but you and I laughed so hard in that theater. Like, we just had a great time, and I don't think it was even obnoxious. I think most people were laughing.
Yeah.
But Slender Man, no excuse. That was not fun.
It wasn't fun at all.
No.
So we have, and at the end of the movie, we were with our friend Johnny, and he stood up and he said,
"Boo!
That movie sucked."
Yeah, he booed it, and you know what? It was fine because there was only 2 other people in the theater. It's like nobody could really get upset at that. But what's coming out this year?
It Chapter 2, like you said.
I'm excited.
Pet Cemetery.
Yeah, that looks good.
If you've ever read the book, don't.
Never. I've
It's
never
scary.
read a book.
It's scary.
What are books?
What are books, dog? Happy Death Day to You.
I don't have any hopes for that movie, but I hope it's good. I don't expect anything.
The Curse of La Llorona. I will come back to that one. That is significant.
That one's interesting. Because it's a fucking gimmick.
We'll come back to it.
Yeah.
Us.
Yeah. I'm very excited to see what Jordan Peele could make after Get Out.
And there's another 47 Meters Down movie.
That doesn't count. If sharks aren't horror movies, those are shark movies. It's its own genre.
Guess the title. It's not 48 Meters down. That would have been great.
Fucking horseshit.
Do you want me to say
Wait, so is it like a pun or is it just like a shitty generic
It's just
tagline?
a shitty title.
So is it like 47 meters down?
Yeah.
Below the depths?
You're close.
No way.
Yeah, you're
What
close.
is it? What is it?
47 Meters down. Uncaged.
That's so shit. I never saw the first one, have you?
I skipped to the end.
Could I really quickly just ask you this question?
Yeah, go for it.
Do you ever talk to a friend and then they tell you that they saw this movie that you know is terrible and they talk about how great it was?
It happens like every day.
Yeah, and then you're just like, oh, I think less of you.
It happened today, I think.
Yeah?
I can't remember what movie they were talking about, but it was like, oh, that's great. And we were with this person who suggested two awful choices for the new Wolverine.
Yeah.
They said Gerard Butler, and it's like, what the hell?
Yeah, no, he's too old.
Yeah.
We were in the gym the other day, and I remember somebody going I was just watching that John Travolta movie where he plays John Gotti. It was crazy, bro. And all I could think of is that movie has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. I know that movie's dog shit. I don't have to see it to know it's dog shit. And
there are people that watch 3 movies a year.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I remember I have a friend that told me when 47 Meters Down was out, they were like, "Oh, I just saw that shark movie, 47 Meters Down. It's really good. I liked it." And I was just like, "Oh, we can't hang out anymore."
Yep. All right, let's get back on topic because I'm trying to create a space where you can make a video out of this.
Jesus Christ, man! I'll make art out of anything, bro.
Shut up! No,
Fuck
you won't. There's a movie coming out called Polaroid.
Polaroid,
not hemorrhoid. So there's Polaroid.
Good joke.
There's okay, that's next year. Apparently, we're getting a Grudge movie next year.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really? Like a reboot?
I don't know.
I'm down for that.
Then you have World War Z 2.
All right.
New Mutants.
That's coming out this year or next year?
They pushed it back to August.
The
movie's not coming out.
It will come out, but it's unbelievable how fucked up that is.
Zombieland 2.
Poster was just revealed for that. Have you seen it?
No.
It looks just like the first poster, but they're a little bit older, and it's so boring it almost looks fake, but it's real.
Really?
Yeah, because it's just the 4 of them standing underneath the Zombieland logo, just like the first one, and they look a little different because a few years has passed. Excited for the movie though. First one's awesome.
Back to the Curse of La Llorona though.
Yeah.
I thought the teaser trailer for that movie was terrifying.
Yeah.
The trailer. like with the kids and like the doors of the car opening up again.
Yeah.
And I think the design of the creature is scary. I am saying everything that I said in the post-credit scene for Annabelle Creation with the nun.
Yeah, how it like slowly walks
Yeah.
towards the camera.
So it's just like, I remember being so hopeful for the nun. So I'm going to manage my expectations with this. But
we should address that this movie, what is it called? I cannot fucking
The
pronounce
Curse of La Llorona.
The Curse of La Cucaracha. So The Curse of La Cucaracha is a horror movie that has absolutely what it seems to be zero affiliation with the fucking Conjuring universe. But they're saying that it's in the Conjuring universe.
No, they haven't come out and said it. It's just a rumor.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, but if that is the case, though, it reeks of like Cloverfield to me, where it's like we're going to just promote the shit out of this with this franchise that you already know, even though that these things really aren't related to that initial franchise. Which, if the movie's great, then it doesn't matter. But I'm really curious to see if they're gonna like put some really like cynical promotion into it, where they try to tell you it's something that it isn't, and then the movie just turns out to be boring. But I like the name, Curse of La Cucaracha. Sounds good. The trailer is pretty good. But you know, there are a lot of good trailers for a lot of bad movies.
I love the Conjuring universe, though. Like, I get it. The last one was bad.
The last few,
What was the one before the nun?
Annabelle Creation.
That's a good movie.
It's not great.
Okay, like
It's like a subpar. It's good for like going to a movie theater to see a horror movie that isn't art. You know what I mean?
I thought that movie had some pretty genuinely scary parts in it.
It does. Really does.
One part in it really creeped me out when you see the doll and then just the black hands move over the doll's face and then it pulls back into the darkness. Mm-hmm. That really scared me. They reached their high with The Conjuring. It's
the first one. That's
it's like if the MCU, if like currently still its high was Iron Man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I still like it. I still like this universe.
It is good. It's fun. But that's the thing to me that like I am annoyed by. It's like there's The Conjuring and that movie's genuinely great. And then there's Annabelle. And Annabelle is not good.
Not good.
And then there's The Conjuring 2, and Conjuring 2 is
fine, not really scary.
Yeah. And then Annabelle Creation, better than the first Annabelle, but still it's not like some ultra memorable movie.
It's the opposite of The Conjuring 2, I think, where it's like The Conjuring 2 is like well made, but it's not super scary.
Yeah.
When on the other hand,
that's
Annabelle Creation is not really well made, but it's got some pretty scary moments.
That's a perfect way to describe it. And then The Nun, I was really excited for.
The Nun is awful.
It's a bad movie. If you're with a bunch of friends, will you smile maybe? Sure. There's a few lines in it that are fucking hilarious. Like the holy shit line when they're like taking out Jesus's blood and then like the priest goes, the holiest.
What does he say?
When they're like getting the vial of Jesus's blood to stop the nun, he says it's like Jesus's blood, and then Frenchie's like, holy shit, and the priest goes, the holiest. It's the funniest fucking line ever.
I hate the way they kill the nun in that movie. It's like she has the blood of Christ in her mouth. And then
spits it out at her.
I'm thinking back to like The Conjuring, and it's like now we've got the blood of Christ in this universe.
See, to me, like The Conjuring is almost like a modern day Exorcist. Not that it like strives to be like some really artistic movie, but it's scary in the way that The Exorcist is, where they really sell you on the fact that this demon is fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
And
also,
they don't really do that in all the other movies.
It's like a thing where it's like anybody could be affected by it. It makes me scary.
Yeah.
It makes me feel scared. It makes me scary.
It makes me scary.
It makes me feel terrified because I'm not going to this huge castle in the woods where like there's a bunch of nuns.
Yeah.
There's one scary scene in The Nun, and this is what really gets me about scary movies, is the things that stick with me, unless you're Hereditary, are like lines of dialogue.
Are you talking about... I remember in The Nun, the one detail that I liked above all of the details was when they went to find the body.
Yep, same scene.
They went to find the body, And the guy who left the body there said he left it there laying down. And when they got back, the body was sitting up.
Yeah.
Just little details like that plant in your head are fucking way scarier.
That was scary. I remember the moment in The Conjuring that shivers went down my spine when I was in high school. And my mom loves horror movies. Shout out to my mom. She subscribed to us today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, she did.
Aw, thank you, Mrs. Coleman. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mommy. Anyway, she, what?
I said your last name. Go. I'll censor that.
No, you won't.
I won't. I'm too lazy.
They don't know my.
I'll censor it. Go.
Okay. She said. What was it? I remember sitting in the theater with her because she loves horror movies, and like that's where I get it from.
Yeah.
My sister hates horror movies. My father hates horror movies. Girlfriend hates horror movies. Mom loves them.
Yeah.
Like is obsessed with them. It's her fault that I like them. Anyway. I remember sitting in The Conjuring with her and just shivers move down my spine when they have the 3 knocks.
Yeah.
And it's like the knocks come in threes.
Here.
And they're like, they ask what that represents. And it's like, oh, they're disgracing the Holy Trinity. The knocks come in threes. Shivers everywhere.
I had the exact same experience watching The Exorcist. When they were listening to the recording of...
the first time you and I watched it?
Yeah. They were listening back to the recording of Linda Blair's character. I can't remember her name. The girl that's possessed. And there's 4 audible voices from the demons that are inside of her. And they're trying to count them. And somebody goes, there's 4 demons. And then the priest goes, no, there's only 1. And that it was... Trying to trick them to seem that it was like... That she was even more far gone. And the idea that like there was something in her that was pretending to be 4 entities, but it was only 1, that shit was like the scariest thing in that movie for me. And I don't even buy this shit.
Yeah. That movie was really, really, really... It was good, but I was never terrified in it.
Yeah, well, it's old.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't want to shit on older movies for just being a product of their day when they totally changed the game and we're just not used to seeing movies like that. Because today everything is so over the top compared to what it used to be. But like that movie's got a lot of cool things in it. It's got some of the best cinematic punches in history. If you ever want to watch a movie to see like a middle-aged man just fucking throw 3 fucking Hail Mary punches into a little girl's face, watch The Exorcist.
That moment made me laugh so hard.
Is it that scene? I remember watching that movie with you and us just fucking cheering when he started punching the girl in the face because it was just so satisfying. And the old time movies, the punching sound effects are like so like awesome. You ever notice that? When you watch like an old movie,
like Indiana Jones,
like in Indiana Jones, like punches sound like fucking gunfire in old movies. And like today, not that in reality, punches don't even make sound. Like they really don't.
Like when you hit someone?
Yeah, when you hit somebody.
It's like a...
Yeah, it's like a really quiet sound, but in movies, it's always overemphasized. Like a lot of things, but it's obviously just for the experience. You know, it would be weird if you watched the movie and there was like no fucking sounds when the fists hit somebody's torso or whatever. But, yeah, Exorcist, great fucking punches. Indiana Jones, great punches. You know. What else you got?
Anyway, I was just gonna say that like the Curse of La Llorona could in fact be a part of this universe. And despite the fact that over half of it is not great, I still like it. I like that it exists. And I think it's crazy that something like the Dark Universe can't work, but like this little shared universe is going pretty well. And we still have the Crooked Man after the Crooked Man.
Yeah.
And there's one other that I'm forgetting, but we still have the Crooked Man to come. So
it's debatable that as far as
and another
universes
Annabelle,
go,
excuse me.
Oh yeah. It's debatable as far as shared universes go that this is the second most successful shared universe. Because all you got with it is DC, which clearly has its fuck ups. That being said, there hasn't been a fucking Conjuring movie that's made $1 billion. But as far as like actual quality connectivity, I think that they're probably the second most successful. Because DC is like forced, I feel like. It's such an obvious attempt to be like, we need to catch up we're going to just shove a bunch of shit down your throat.
Right.
And only now is it kind of seeming like it's getting its stride, even though they just fucking fired their Batman and their Superman. What other shared universes are there really besides these? I mean, they got the Mummy one.
I could look it up.
The Mummy one has only got one film so far, though, and God knows it's probably only going to have
It's the
two.
last one.
Yeah. I mean, who knows what they're going to do. That Mummy movie, it didn't flop. It made money overseas, but like as far as fan reaction, I don't think anybody would see a sequel to it. I don't think anybody liked it. And I don't want to count things like Star Wars, obviously, because that's not a shared universe. That's just a universe.
Oh man, this is bad. Okay.
Is there any others that I'm like not thinking of?
You're missing the Godzilla movies, the MonsterVerse.
Oh yeah, because I guess that once you throw King Kong,
But if you're thinking back to like the old Toho Japanese movies,
yeah,
that's a shared universe too, because Rodan has a movie, and Mothra has a movie, and Godzilla has like over 20 movies. So that's like, if you think about it, one of the older shared universes, which is, so they kind of did it first, but Marvel gets credit for it.
yeah.
So.
I'm so fucking excited for this new Godzilla movie. It's insane. I just want to see giant monsters fuck each other up. There's a part of me that will just always want to see that, you know? But especially like these ones specifically, I can't wait to see like how the threat escalates after this movie. You know what I mean?
Godzilla versus Kong?
Yeah, I know, but like how is Kong going to be a threat to Godzilla after fighting Ghidorah and Rodan?
I hope that they don't kill Ghidorah. They will. Or Ghidorah, but
yeah.
I'm sure it looks good. I'm excited for it. When does that movie come out?
It's got to be soon, right? I imagine it's probably coming out like around the time of Avengers.
In April time?
Yeah, something like that. Maybe May.
May 31st.
May 31st. Bam.
Yep.
So
It doesn't
fucking
want to.
excited.
It doesn't want to throw gloves with Endgame.
I wouldn't.
Neither would I.
I mean, is there any competition this summer of like something huge coming out? All I really know of is Captain Marvel's like in March. Spider-Man's in July, right?
Yeah.
It's July 7th. Or July 5th. I'm not sure.
Other movies, you got Wonder Woman this year.
Right? Shazam's in summer.
I'm not sure. Yes. Wonder Woman. Are we getting the sequel to Wonder Woman this year?
I don't know. I know they pushed it back on its original release date. I don't know when they pushed it back.
Let me check.
But I feel like there's not a whole lot so far. Once Toy Story
You're
4
right.
come
2020 is when they're going to release in June of 2020, which is a long time to wait for a sequel.
we got X-Men Dark Phoenix.
Hellboy.
Oh yeah, Hellboy looks like shit.
Oh, it looks awful.
June 21st for Toy Story 4.
It's long too.
Yeah.
The Hellboy runtime is 2 hours and 30 minutes.
I'm just disappointed that they even made this decision to reboot it, because the reality is Hellboy is not that big of a fucking brand, and if you don't have everybody sold on it, you're not going to make a shitload of money. And this new Hellboy would make just as much money as the third Hellboy. Like, there was no reason to reboot it, but that's what happened. Oh, Lion King, when does that come out? That's going to be big.
July
19th. That movie's going to be fucking huge.
I can't wait for it.
I'm not even like that excited. I've never been a huge Lion King fan.
Really?
Yeah, no.
I grew up with that movie.
I know I grew up with it, but like I grew up with it and then I fucking forgot about it. It's like Joker's October.
Donald Glover.
Great time for a fucking Joker movie, right?
October?
3 weeks
Yeah.
before Halloween. Fucking killer spot. What a great idea.
My dog Donald Glover plays Simba.
Simba? Oh, yeah. No way.
Yeah.
You're shitting me. That's fucking awesome.
Yep.
Good for him. Fucking Childish Gambino getting these gigs. First he's Lando. Now he's Simba.
First he's pansexual. Now
Now
he's
he's-
lion-sexual.
Boy, the politics in movies these days. Oh, when does that Pikachu movie come out? That's probably going to actually do well. May 10th. Bam. Fucking, that ain't making money.
You don't think so?
Off the tail of the biggest movie ever made? I don't know. No, I don't make money.
What's the biggest movie? Endgame?
Endgame.
Ever made?
Yeah. Dude, you're telling me Endgame, I wouldn't be shocked if there's ever going to be a movie to break $300 million opening weekend domestically, it's Endgame. If that's ever going to happen. It'll never be another Star Wars movie because 250 was the limit for Star Wars. You will never get a bigger hype for Star Wars than that first new Star Wars movie, right?
I don't think that's true.
You don't think that it is literally impossible to get another Star Wars movie bigger than The Force Awakens?
I do not think it's impossible, no.
What do you have to do to make it bigger than The Force Awakens?
Make two really, really, really good movies.
Yeah. Well, judging by their track record, I don't see it happening.
Don't the end of trilogies typically make a lot of money?
Yeah. But also typically the second movie makes more money too. And that's not what happened.
I'm just saying, I think, if you went back in time with new characters, I've said this before, with Star Wars, and you made two great movies, I think a third one could beat The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Do you disagree?
I don't disagree. I'm just saying that what we've gotten lately has put them on a really rough track.
I'm not talking... it's impossible in the next 5 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
But in the next 10 years?
Like you said, they'd have to put out really quality movies.
Two. That's it.
So, but you are right when it comes to the third movie in a trilogy doing better than all the other ones, regardless of the quality. So, Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
It's the worst Spider-Man movie in that trilogy. It's not the worst Spider-Man movie ever. Made 150 opening weekend. Highest grossing opening weekend for a Spider-Man movie. Highest grossing Spider-Man movie, actually, too. Made more than Homecoming. And it's because the first two were really good, especially the second one.
But that's what I'm saying.
The movie's fucking nowhere near as good. Yeah.
Yeah, I do think you can beat The Force Awakens numbers.
Yeah.
I think it's more achievable than you think. You just need you need an end game.
Yeah. I'll give you that. Because you know what? Marvel is a little bit different when it comes to, say, the success directly of Avengers, because the first Avengers outperformed the second Avengers.
Yeah.
But Infinity War outperformed both of them. Uh-huh. So there was a dip in quality in the second one, but the third one did make more money. The only problem is there was also 9 movies in between Avengers 2 and Infinity War that really built a lot of credibility, especially the last few ones, leading up to Endgame.
Yeah, but Infinity War is the first Marvel film with the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Ever. So if Star Wars could do a cliffhanger just as effectively, which I think it can still.
Didn't they do it already?
I think they could have one just as big if they played it right.
Yeah.
Maybe not big initially. Absolutely not as big as initially, but create the same impact with a different story. Create a twist that no one sees coming in the second film. And I bet you have a third film with characters that people love, the characters that they love as much as Iron Man and Captain America. Mm-hmm. I think you can beat it.
Do you think that Star Wars, or if I should say the people behind Star Wars, are capable of putting their agendas aside, hire good directors to make good movies, and get that done? Because as far as what I've seen from them, it's just a disaster what they've done with these movies, and it's such a fucking shame because it's something that should be one of the best franchises out there, but because of the people behind it, it gets very tainted.
I think my answer is going to shock you. No. I don't think the current people running it are capable of that.
Yeah. So when does this change happen with the people making these movies to come up with something better? And I'm not saying it's not going to happen, because you could look at X-Men. They had a couple good movies, bunch of shitty movies, but then somebody was like, all right, let's get the guy back that, made the good ones, who is now a rapist. And they got Matthew Vaughn, and they kind of just changed it up a lot, and they made it really good again to then be ruined by the rapist. Um, but so what I'm saying is, just because a franchise is in a bad place doesn't mean it can't be brought out of it and be really successful.
Yeah, but I do not see the people right now bringing it into this new era.
When does this
I'm
change?
sorry. If episode 9 underperforms, which it's possible.
I could see it underperforming. I could see it also doing really well. I don't see it breaking records.
It won't. The Star Wars fan base right now is still tainted.
Yeah. It's also important when this movie comes out that we have to remember what is a good performance when it comes to box office and what is not. Because if say this movie comes out and it makes $170 million opening weekend, guaranteed people will call it a failure. And $170 million opening weekend is no fucking failure. So you got to remember what planet you live on when this movie comes out. And hopefully the most important thing is that it's good. And if it's not, then that's a really big problem. This franchise will be in a lot of trouble. It already is in a lot of trouble, considering the performance of the last movie. But
you're right. It's the whole agenda thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is. It's almost, you know what? I know exactly what it is. The people don't understand the appeal of Star Wars. Mm-hmm. And they've believed that Star Wars was bigger than it was, which is crazy. As far as like it being this untouchable franchise, literally people thought that it was untouchable.
Yeah.
And that's why they thought they could shove all these agendas down their throat, because you look at the prequels made tons of money.
Yeah.
And people complained about them.
A lot of money.
But
and to even defend George Lucas, which is not something I do very often, even though I do not like the prequels, I can admit that George Lucas's idea behind them was for fans. Like, it was for his money, but it was also like, Star Wars is about escapism. You're supposed to put yourself in the shoes of the people that are on this heroic journey, right? Mm-hmm. And that's all you really want it to be. You just want it to be a smart, well-executed, charming, engaging action franchise where you get to feel this adventure. And George Lucas's vision of the prequels gave you like a universe that very much expanded on what we already had, and it made Star Wars a lot more rich.
Yes,
they gave us so much more.
Way more rich.
And that's not something we get. That's not something we get with any of this. They definitely make it smaller. They introduce you to planets that look exactly like the ones you've seen before, and they give you characters that do nothing. And
the story is very similar in a lot of ways.
The story is similar, and it's not very clever, and it almost like talks down to you in a way. It's not designed with your like experience really in mind. I feel like because it's not just. And this sounds so nerdy to me to say it. It's like it's not just movies, but it is a world. You know, they have like an entire like community's made up fan universe.
Yeah,
that is really important to a lot of people. And when you fuck with it, it's going to get a lot of people upset, and they're going to reject your idea of the universe.
I'm still making tons upon tons of content on the lore established in the George Lucas era of prequels and stuff. I make next to no new content of any of the new movies.
Yeah.
If I put out a video about the new movies, it doesn't do as well as the old content stuff.
Yeah, because it's not as interesting.
No.
They don't show you anything that like really builds on the universe. You get like a casino planet.
I was so excited to see Luke Skywalker's new advanced teachings as a Jedi. I was excited to potentially see Snoke train Kylo Ren, get something different that we hadn't seen before in Star Wars. And you just don't get it.
Yeah, maybe learn some ancient truth about either the Jedi or the Sith that hasn't been expanded on. You know, they offer you nothing. They offer you more of the same, but with a different coat of paint on it.
Yep.
And I can't even think of like one thing that they've introduced in these new movies that really changed anything for Star Wars. Like, I mean, obviously you have these new characters, but I just feel like most of anything they've introduced as far as lore goes in these movies has just been rejected, other than maybe some of the post Return of the Jedi events. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so like there was still wars going on after Return of the Jedi, and that's what happened to
Jakku.
And it's like, oh, that's fun. Like there was still a little bit of the Empire left, and now it's turned into the First Order.
Yeah, the conflict raged for another year.
Yeah, but that's like about as much as you get, with these new movies. And The Last Jedi absolutely offers no new questions or doesn't really give you a glimpse of anything in the universe that would be remotely interesting. You just get a planet that looks like snow because of Empire, but instead it's salt. But it's the same, but it's different.
There's a snow planet in episode 9 that they just confirmed.
Oh God, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I would honestly prefer it if they were just like, fuck it, let's just go back to Hoth. Because at least to me, it's like, sure, is it repetitive? Yeah. But it's not an insult. Because like the whole idea of them doing that, just taking what you've seen but changing it a little bit, it's like a trick. It feels like a trick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The people who are running this are doing a really bad job. And it's because I don't think they have one of those minds like George Lucas. George Lucas is debatably a giant moron, but he's also a visionary that nobody really could quite grasp the talent of.
And can't recreate.
There's only one other person in this fucking industry that does what George Lucas does on a level that George Lucas does it, and it's Kevin Feige.
Yeah,
that's the only other person. Nobody else has ever come close to it. Do you think there's ever been another person that's done that? I can't think of one. I mean, even when it comes to, like, say, the Conjuring universe, like, there's no real head to it. Everybody just goes James Wan. You know what I mean? But James Wan's not really that connected to it.
He just produces it.
Yeah. There's never been another person like George Lucas besides Kevin Feige. I wonder if there are any out there, though, that'll rise up, Everybody always wants to make names, but I don't think that's something you could just hire somebody to do. It's like those people find their ways to those jobs. Do you remember when, like, DC took off? And people were like, get Ben Affleck to run the universe.
Yeah.
Because he's a fan of Batman. Therefore, he could run this giant multi-million-dollar franchise.
Billion.
Oh, yeah, it would be a billion-dollar franchise. You're right. A multi-billion-dollar franchise. Give it to Ben Affleck because he's read Batman comics. Like, is that a start? Yeah, you got somebody running the ship. Maybe he would find a passion. Ben Affleck is talented. He's an amazing director. But does that mean that he's qualified for that job? No. You need to find the person with that crazy fucking brain.
Yeah.
You need to find somebody that, like, created Magic the
Gathering. It's not Kathleen Kennedy.
It's not. She's not that person. She is a fucking bigwig stiff with her agenda. And she's putting it in all the movies. But, I mean, hopefully one day they go beyond that. Hopefully they realize that it's not working, And hopefully episode 9 is really good. And
they thought Star Wars was bigger than it is. Yeah. Not that they thought it was bigger, but they thought it was an invincible entity.
Yeah.
And they were wrong.
Yeah. I could see why they would think that.
So could I.
Yeah. They had...
After The Force Awakens came out, I could say few bad movies tanks the Marvel Universe.
Mm-hmm.
One bad movie tanked Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
When before, I would say, can't happen.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I think would happen too, like today. Like, if you have one really, really, really bad Avengers movie, you could tank the MCU. I think you could. It would have not tank, but you would take a hit.
Yeah, it would have to be a movie like that. Like
it would have to be.
It would have to be Avengers 5. I don't even think Avengers 4 would work. Like, because there's just so much hype going into it, and then what will come after Avengers 4 will be really different regardless. Avengers 5, if that tanks, I think that'll definitely lose fans because I'm sure that'll be the point where people are like, it's not the same as it was. Remember when it was really good?
Yeah, they'll say the same things they say about Star Wars.
Star Wars has a good chance when it comes to its fan base to like really fuck things up and still have loyal fans because of what comes before it. And I mean, not only that, but Star Wars has already been through some shit.
Yeah.
Fandom is different though today than it was when the prequels came out. The internet is a much more fulfilled place, if you will. There's more people on it, and they all learned how to hear each other's opinions better.
Yeah.
And, I've heard stories of like people downloading the Phantom Menace trailer on their computer for like 4 hours just so they could watch it. And it's a different place now.
Yeah.
Trailers get 100 million views in 24 hours, and everybody says, I don't like it because there's women in it. That's just how it works today. Hopefully they fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think under its current leadership, it's fixable, but you're not going to have a movie that outgrosses The Force Awakens.
Yeah, they need to find that Kevin Feige. And maybe his name is George Lucas.
Maybe his name's Jon Favreau.
Yeah?
The Mandalorian is amazing. It's a possibility.
Yeah. The thing that I was saying though is like I know Jon Favreau is fucking talented. His movies are great. He's clever. He's a great writer. Does that mean he's capable of running that ship? Could he do it? Could you just
get
the
the first
director?
Iron Man off the ground?
He did. And he does produce a lot of the Marvel movies beyond it.
I think he could do it, yeah. I say that tentatively. Mm-hmm. We will see after The Mandalorian.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. And it would be interesting to see if, even if that were the case, if Disney would even make a move like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I know that Disney has made a move like that with Kevin Feige, but with this all being run under Kathleen Kennedy, would she have the good sense to be like, there are people with a better creative vision than I have, and I need to make sure that they're the ones that are making these movies? Like, will another failure be enough to drive her to that point?
To get her to step down?
And here's...
I don't think Kathleen Kennedy would ever step down.
Yeah.
She would need to be removed.
Now, here's another question. Say Star Wars isn't terrible, and it's also not quality, it's just fine. Like, it gets generally positive feedback, and it keeps making money. Are we just
Force Awakens?
Yeah. Are we just doomed to have nothing special?
No.
No.
Because Solo got middle of the line reviews, and Solo tanked. Mm-hmm. We need something good.
Yeah. That's a good point. Good point.
I got one more question for you, and then we can wrap this thing up.
This is a long one, by the way.
How long is it?
We've been going an hour and a half.
You have a few topics here, though, that you can make into shorter videos.
Yeah.
Like, definitely make the Star Wars stuff into a shorter video. Mm-hmm. Like, for real, do it. Like, get views.
It'll be a half-hour video.
That's fine. Who
yeah,
cares?
There's nothing wrong with that. It's a quick segment.
Is Rian Johnson getting his trilogy? Yes, no.
No. He already got fired. I know it.
I would say no, too.
Yeah. There's no way in today when the connection between fan and studio, there's more awareness that goes on between them than there has ever been. So when people talk about The Last Jedi, they talk about what Rian Johnson did to The Last Jedi. You know what I mean? It's not just like, oh, that movie was bad and like the people behind it are anonymous like it kind of used to be, unless you were a big film fan. Like the general public is way more aware on what's behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So,
and I've said it before, but sometimes those people that run Star Wars can be jerks.
Yeah. And
they
we
can
know
be jerks to people that love Star Wars. And those cards, your Snoke theory sucks cards, were handed out to people. Mm-hmm. They were handed out to Rian Johnson and people like that. But they took the picture.
Yeah.
They took the picture. They were trying to prove a point. Mm-hmm. And it just kind of tastes good right now. If anything came from The Last Jedi, as one of the pioneers of Star Wars theories on the internet, it's kind of nice for him to be like, and I don't normally like to swear on air, but it's like Rian Johnson, when he held up that card, it was almost like a fuck you to me, right?
Yeah.
It was like a fuck you and all of you nerds that want to come up with this Snoke theory and support the franchise. But no, Rian Johnson, fuck you.
How dare you be excited for the thing you love by coming up with your own ideas? What are you, like some sort of fun, imaginative person that's thrilled to be a part of this community?
It's like, no, Rian Johnson.
It's blatant disrespect.
even if you like The Last Jedi, which as a film, I've said it before, I do not hate The Last Jedi.
It's not
But
terrible.
as a Star Wars film, it is awful for the universe. But like I think it's in poor taste to hold up a card like that.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
It absolutely is. And you will never see Kevin Feige do that.
No.
You'll never see a director of a Marvel movie do that. Like, Taika Waititi would never be like, fuck you for being mad that Thor's hammer's broken. Like, that would have never happened. Like, and that's a stupid example, but it's just clear that they don't understand how to even interact with this fan base.
Fans, yeah.
Which, in a way, makes sense because they were handed the biggest franchise ever, and by handed I mean they bought it for $4 billion. So it's not like something that they worked up steadily. They built off the back of something, created something completely new, and they inherited a fan base that has already.
Crazy.
Yeah, the Star Wars fan base has already been through the ringer with shit, and they've been very vocal about how they feel on like the prequels, and the last thing any of them wanted was another fucking bad movie. And as far as like him getting that trilogy, they are not. Obviously, they have a good history with firing directors.
Yeah.
So to see another one go would be nothing.
But this is what's going to happen. They're just not going to say anything about it.
Yeah,
ever.
I don't even think they had a fucking idea for that trilogy. I think it was all just fucking promotional hype for the Last Jedi, because they were just like, "Oh, this movie's so good. We're going to give Rian Johnson his own trilogy beyond this. What's it about? Something. We'll figure it out." Like it seemed so fake. Because
Rian Johnson's even said it takes him an absurd amount of time to write something. It takes him forever.
And do you know how, even when Marvel doesn't announce something, you kind of always know what the future plan is. Every now and then they'll drop something crazy on you. But, we know right now...
Secret Wars.
There's, an Eternals movie and stuff. And we're always kind of, just a little bit in the know. But I don't think anybody was in the know with this Rian Johnson trilogy. People were like, maybe it takes place a long time ago. I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen. They might do the trilogy, whatever, if they had an idea, but it's not going to be attached to that guy.
Star Wars doesn't acknowledge YouTubers and our draw either, and as the mega fans. If you wanted to consider a YouTuber that does this. The ultimate, an epitome of a fan. I'm not saying that you have to be a YouTuber that talks about Star Wars to be the ultimate Star Wars fan. Yeah. I'm just saying, you have to be a pretty damn big one.
It is part of the community.
And I remember hearing all the time, people kind of not wanting to talk ill about Star Wars in hopes of working with them one day. But it's not going to happen.
And do you know another company that totally does a good job dealing with that? Marvel Studios. I remember when the first Guardians of the Galaxy was about to come out in theaters, seeing Kevin Feige and Chris Pratt both going on to AMC Movie Talk when that channel used to exist.
Yeah.
And it only had 100,000 subscribers. So it's not even the biggest fucking voice on YouTube or anything, but it was they made their rounds making sure that people knew about that. If you watch Screen Junkies videos, fucking Ryan Reynolds does the voice of Deadpool in the honest trailers for the Deadpool movies. You know what I mean?
And that's a different studio.
Marvel
but
just
so Star Wars, sorry.
These franchises are very connected to their fans and connected to their fans in all their platforms. And the reality is the biggest public one is on YouTube, because it's a place where, unlike really Instagram or Twitter or anything, YouTube is people making actual content, and you could talk to your fans there. So Marvel does it great, and they do not pretend like it's some bullshit thing, Star Wars is out of touch.
I just want to end on one last note. I know I've said that 3 times.
It's good. It's fine.
I love Star Wars. It's my favorite franchise in history.
Yeah.
It is what I grew up with. As a kid, I always wanted to be Luke Skywalker. He always did the right thing no matter what, no matter what anybody else was telling him, no matter his circumstances. He did the right thing. He was a good person. I enjoy the prequels. I love all of Star Wars. I even love parts of The Last Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to say that this universe is really special to me, and I'm sure everybody else, and that's why I want it to be good and I want it to succeed.
Yeah.
And I just want to be like appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Star Wars is like a girl, you know?
Yeah.
Star Wars is a girl. It's like they can look pretty, but they're not really nice to me. That's okay. They look really pretty. I'll deal with it. But now she's not so pretty, and she still doesn't talk to me.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I'm less likely to like stay around. And when I say stay around, I mean like support.
Yeah.
I'm always going to be around. I'm always going to be a Star Wars fan. They could like Episode 9 could be like footage of a rock for 2 hours, and I would still be a Star Wars fan because of what's happened before. But like I just want it to be good from a place of love, not from a place of hate.
Yeah.
That's it.
Star Wars is like a girl that you remember from your past, and you thought like, oh, she was like the best. You had like a huge crush on her, and then you meet her again. She's a 10, you know? But then, like, you see her without her makeup, and she has like a bad skin problem, and then she called your mom a cunt. And you're like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. And then you look at Marvel, and that's just a straight up babe with a rockin' body, and she has family dinners with you.
Taking it too far, dog.
She has a family dinner with you, and she loves hearing your stories. Anyway, with that being said,
You took my heartfelt thing and you just smashed it.
I thought it would
right
be funny.
in
We
front of
can't.
me.
Okay, I wanted to just introduce a little more levity into the conversation before we ended it. Anyway,
By using the C word.
I thought there was bound to be a time to do it. What's wrong with that word? It's so widely accepted today. I don't think any girls are going to listen to this either. Anyway, guys, thank you for listening to this extraordinary long podcast. An hour and like 42 minutes almost. Follow us on YouTube and on iTunes. If you're watching this on YouTube, there's links to everything below it. My fucking iTunes, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. I never fucking tweet, but follow it anyway. I'll tweet more for you. Thank you very much for listening, and we hope that you have a great rest of your day and expect more content very soon. All right. Peace. Would you like to say goodbye as well?
Thank you guys. Love
Yes.
you.
Thank you. Much love. Bless up.